Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we're back once again with another 24/7 news video. We've got quite a big news video today, quite a big 24/7 news report. There's a lot to digest, there's a lot to get into. Injuries, some good news, some bad news. So without further ado, we'll get into it. As always, we start with our headline news. And our headline news is that Newcastle are interested in signing Calvert-Lewin from Everton. Arsenal and a German club are also interested in the forward, while both Man City and United have been long-time admirers. That's come via the Telegraph. We did also ask on our Twitter, the Toffee Blues. You can follow that. The link's in the description down below. We put out another poll. If you regularly watch these videos, you know we love a poll. We read them while I read them out. And it's just nice to get a perspective of the fan base. So we asked, what price would you sell Calvert-Lewin at? The options were 50 to 60 mil, 70 to 80 mil, 80 to 90 mil, or 100 mil plus. Over 576 of you have voted. That's still open for 17 hours. So if you want to vote on that, get down to the onto Twitter, get down to that poll and vote. 3% of you said 50 to 60. I personally think that's a bit cheap. 70 to 80%, 70 to 80 million got 19%. 29 of you voted for 80 to 90 million. And 49 of you, including myself, voted for 100 million plus. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, we won't get that for him, and you might be right. I don't want to sell him, but if we are, I want silly money for it, and Newcastle will spend, I feel like they're going to have a bit of us, where they're going to get a couple of managers who are fancy football, a little bit of a hype. Like, I don't know, at the minute they're linked with Fonseca, Eddie Howe, Frank Lampard, that type that we were linked with in the summer, Martinez. And I think they're just going to spend, and they're not going to get it right straight away. City never got it right straight away. We've not got it right since we've had money. And I feel like they'll do it as well. And because they've got so much more money, they are going to get it heavily wrong before they get it heavily right. And once they get it right, it's going to be quite scary because they're probably going to, take over the league a little bit, like City have in recent years, and dominate. But it's going to take a while for them to get it right. And if they are going to give us 100 million, do I think DCL's worth it? No. I think he's a very, very good player, and he's important to us, as shown by his when he's not playing, how much we struggle. There are big strengths, but there are also little weaknesses. I don't think his one-on-ones and his dribbling is that great, but he plays in our system really well, and he's improving every year. I really like him, by the way, but I don't think he's worth 100 million. But if they're going to offer silly money, that's what I want to sell him for, because he is invaluable to our team. It'd take us a while to replace him. We struggle to replace Lukaku. I don't think we've ever fully replaced him. Calvert-Lewin looks potentially like that striker that will get us 20-odd goals, maybe, as he develops. But we never fully replaced Lukaku, and I feel like we'll struggle to replace Calvert-Lewin. But that's just my opinion on it all. If he does sell, I want him to sell for silly money. Which, by the way, I don't think we need in terms of... I don't think we're a selling club anymore, but it would release the financial fair play shackles massively, which is the only reason we're not buying players. We also have the news on Calvert-Lewin that Everton have confirmed he has had a severe setback, and his rehabilitation on his quadricep muscle will remain out for a number of weeks. Now, the rumours are 12 weeks. I think it's one of those where it's up to can be worst case scenario. Could be back sooner, could be back later. They don't know. It all depends on your body, your rehabilitation, the program they stick him on. No one knows for certain. I wouldn't mark it in your calendar the 12th week and be like, he's defo back for then, because it's down to the individual, his physical form and how quickly he recovers. Some people can recover like that. Some people it takes a little bit longer. So just with a pinch of salt, but I think the main news, unfortunately, is that he's out for a number of weeks longer than we want him to. Which means we'll probably see Solomon Rondon up front a little bit longer, which, depending on your opinion, I think the majority aren't happy about that, but it's what it is. Maybe when Richarlison's back, we'll stick Richarlison up front. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Ideally, I would like Townsend, Damari Gray, maybe Anthony Gordon, with Richarlison up front, but he's probably going to play Iwobi a little bit more. Again, I know a couple of people won't be happy with that news, and Solomon Rondon. Certainly that's going to be for the Watford game and moving forward till Richarlison's fit. Then he might rethink it. He might change formation completely. You never know. Moving on though, classic Everton, with every day there's bad news, there's good news. And Everton have confirmed the new step on the new stadium work. They've confirmed that the new stadium work has commenced at Bramley Moor. The piling process for their planned state-of-the-art waterfront ground has begun, which includes drilling a 2,500 concrete piles that will provide the building blocks for the structure. So they're basically putting in the foundations. Work has initially begun on the foundations for the north and south stand, with piling work expected to continue throughout the summer of 2022. It's exciting. Danny Jones, part of the team, overseeing it, along with the construction partner, Laying O'Rourke, has explained the process and why it's important. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you why it's important your building has foundations. There's such big buildings as well. I think we all know why foundations are important. But it's some positive news. Obviously, we were filling it in, and that was the big thing, filling it in. Now it's filled in. We're putting in the the foundations. It's promising. It will take a while. We're going to be at Goodison easily for the next 2 seasons, which is good. At least by then, hopefully, we'll be kicking on and giving it a proper send off. But this stadium won't be done overnight. Well, I think we all knew that. Moving on with more stadium news though, and Dan Mies is back. The architect, Dan Mies, the designer of the new stadium being built, says that he will be re-engaged on the project. The US architect, whose stunning rendering of the Mersey waterfront sump revealed in July 2019, made a shock announcement 11 months ago that he wasn't currently engaged in the scheme, and it was one of his biggest disappointments. However, with Liverpool-born professional footballer Neil Dennis on BBC World Service, he claimed that he will be back on board and it's a happy ending. I think this is good. I mean, he designed the stadium, he's the architect, he should be involved in seeing it out throughout. I don't know why you would ever have a heart attack. I don't know what's happened. Maybe it's, both parties, but I don't know why you get an architect design something and then say see you later. It's imperative that you have an architect throughout that's created the designs. And he seems like a good guy. Obviously, he got the the hashtag #BloonArmy trending when it was first announced and stuff like that. He seems to really want to be part of this project, and he seems passionate about it, which is all good signs. If he's passionate about his work and he's really excited about this, then he's going to give it his 100%. And I'm happy to see him back on board. So we'll have to wait and see how the stadium fronts. But if it looks anything like his design, it is going to be a beauty, especially on the waterfront. It's just going to be. I'm excited for it. For real, well, I was going to say I hope to see it soon, but like I just said, it won't be overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. Now we have the news that former Everton coach takes charge of Newcastle. If you haven't seen on the news, Steve Bruce has been sacked. I think we all saw it coming. The media, Steve Bruce himself saw it coming. It was only a matter of time, but they've sacked him. And Graham Jones will take charge of Newcastle's trip to Crystal Palace. Obviously, Newcastle have now got Saudi owners. They've got to take over a lot of money. Bruce was given his 1,000th game, but now he's been let go. And former Everton assistant manager Graham Jones takes charge. He was number 2 to Roberto Martinez back when Martinez was there at Everton. And coincidentally, Martinez is he's not one of the favourites, but he is a name being bobbed around. Take that with a pinch of salt though, because I've said it on this channel when I did a video with Cal. I do think they've copied and pasted all the rumoured names from us with the summer and applied it. And I think they have brands where 1 to 4 are the same managers every time the job comes available. Like outside the European slot mid-table clubs that should be pushing, there's always the same names. And then obviously the relegation teams always have the same names linked. And I think that's just the way it works, Whenever a relegation club sack the manager, you go, Sam Allardyce is always linked, for example. Mid-table clubs, on the brink, Eddie Howe and Martinez seems to always be linked. Lucien Favre, who was linked with the Palace job as well as us, and Newcastle now. So we'll have to wait and see if Martinez actually does. Obviously, he's got the World Cup next year as well to think about, so maybe he's going to wait and see how that goes for him. We also have some transfer news now, and Everton are in the running for Lacazette. The Arsenal striker is attracting plenty of attention in the Premier League and across Europe. And according to Joan Foutu via Team Talk, Everton are one of his admirers. The French publication claims that Everton and West Ham are interested in the 30-year-old. He scored 51 goals in 131 appearances. I think he's the wrong age, and I think he's going to come on big. I will say this about every 30-year-old, unless it's like Lionel Messi. I think they are. I think Lacazette, he can't get in the Arsenal team all the time. I think he'd come to us, we'd offer him a 3-year deal, so he'd be 33 when he goes. He's a good player, I'm not knocking him, but I think we don't learn from our mistakes of giving 30-year-olds nice contracts, quite big wages that we can't sell on then. And I just wish we'd learn from that. And for that reason, I'm going to say steer clear because I don't want to be a hypocrite. He's a good player and obviously he played well. As of recording this, he played well for Arsenal in their last game against Palace. For me, it's a no, though. I wish we'd go for a younger striker. Or not even, they don't have to be 18, 19, 16. They could be 25, like Damari Gray, but with a bit of a hunger. That would be my idea. Sort of buy cheap if you can, but buy good potential players. I know there's probably someone in the comments going, well, Moise Kean was meant to be that. And they don't always work out, but at least we could sell Moise Kean on because he was young, he has youth on his side. We see far too many players walk in who we can't sell on because they're at that point in their career and end up leaving on a free, and that's awful business. You make no profit, a huge loss. It's not sustainable, as we're finding out now with financial fair play. We also have some news now that Everton are eyeing a Morecambe prospective, dubbed the next Andy Robertson. The Toffees are eyeing a move for young Morecambe left-back Connor Pye, according to Football Insider. Aged just 17, the defender put on a man-of-the-match display against Hartlepool in the Football League Trophy, while his energetic displays have seen him compared to Andy Robertson. The report claims Everton scouts have been hugely impressed with what they've watched of him. For Pye, who has made the bench for some of the Shrimps League One games. This is exactly what I've said, just said I want us to do. It's classic Everton. I'm all for this. He's English, well, I assume he is. He's coming from the English League, which is nice to buy from. You're putting money back into the pyramid. He's young, he's energetic, he'll have something to prove. Everton normally do alright with left backs as well. I just hope he gets games. He's not a Thierry Small who will never play and then disappear. I don't know what he's like. I've not watched him play, but he's 17. Even if it goes wrong, someone will buy him for a bit of money. Someone will buy him for a little bit of money. If he was 28, 9 or 30 and we bought him and he didn't do well, they'll be like, I'm not doing that. At least with him, even if he doesn't make it to the, as the next Andy Robertson, which is an awful slight comparison to, because although he's a good left back, he's not exactly one of our favourite players. But yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't end up being that, someone in the Football League, maybe a Championship club, if he gets to that level, will buy him off us, so it's not awful. We'll make some money back, and that's what we got to think about, making money back if they don't work out. But that is all we got time for today, so don't forget to like the video, subscribe, go follow us on Twitter at the Toffee Blues. You can follow myself as well if you really want to. That'll be down below as well. It's mainly just football, Everton, and occasional Simpsons. And don't forget to comment down below on anything I've discussed. The DCL rumours, not just the selling, but let us know the price you'll take for him, but his injury setback. Let us know about the stadium. Are you glad that Dan's back on board? Lacazette, is that a yes for you or a no? And if you've watched the Morecambe left back, let me know what he's like. I'm really intrigued to see how good he is. But that is everything we've got time for. Stay safe.